All right, folks, gather round. We've got some fascinating insights to share today. Today, we're diving deep into the world of military budgets, a topic that's as complex as it is crucial. And no, it's not about how many tanks you can buy on a Black Friday sale. It's much more intricate than that. We're specifically talking about China's defense spending, a subject that's been making headlines. Because let's be real, when the world's second-largest economy decides to beef up its military, people tend to notice. It's a move that has global implications. China recently announced its defense budget for 2025, and it's a big one. This announcement has sparked a lot of discussions. We're talking billions upon billions of yuan. To be precise, it's an astronomical figure that can fund numerous military projects. To put that in perspective, it's roughly 3 times larger than India's defense budget. This comparison highlights the scale of China's military ambitions, and while it's still dwarfed by the US's military spending, the gap is definitely closing. This narrowing gap is something that analysts are keeping a close eye on. Now, some folks might say, hey, China has every right to defend itself, and they're not wrong. Every nation has the right to ensure its security. But when a country's military spending keeps going up, year after year, it's bound to raise a few eyebrows. This consistent increase is what makes people curious and sometimes concerned. It's like seeing your neighbor buy a new security camera every week. At first you might not think much of it, but at some point you gotta wonder what they're so worried about. It makes you question their motives and intentions. The key question here is, where is all this money going? Understanding the allocation is crucial. Is China building a Death Star as we speak? Or is it something less dramatic but equally significant? Or are they just really into high-tech submarines? These advanced technologies are part of their strategic focus. Don't worry, we'll break it all down for you. Stay tuned, we've got all the details coming up next. So, we've established that China's military budget is substantial. It's one of the largest in the world, and it keeps growing every year. But what are they actually spending all that cash on? Where does all that money go? Is it all going towards fancy new weapons, or are there other, less obvious expenses that we might not think about? Well, like any good budget, the PLA divides its funds into several key areas. Each area is crucial for maintaining a robust and effective military force. First up, you've got personnel costs. This includes salaries, benefits, and pensions for the soldiers. That's right, soldiers need to get paid, just like the rest of us. And these payments are essential for maintaining morale and ensuring loyalty. And with over 2 million active personnel, that's a hefty chunk of change right there. It's a significant portion of the budget. Then there's the cost of training and maintaining all those soldiers. Training is continuous and rigorous, ensuring that the troops are always ready for any situation. We're talking food, housing, healthcare, and of course those snazzy uniforms. All these elements are vital for the well-being and efficiency of the soldiers, and let's not forget about the equipment. Military hardware is expensive and requires constant attention. Tanks, jets, ships, these things don't grow on trees, people. They are costly to produce and maintain. They require constant upkeep and upgrades. Regular maintenance is crucial to keep everything in working order, but it's not just about maintaining the old stuff. Innovation is key to staying ahead. China's also investing heavily in research and development of new military technologies. This ensures they remain at the cutting edge of military advancements. We're talking cutting-edge stuff like hypersonic missiles, artificial intelligence, and maybe even those laser beams we've been hearing so much about. These technologies could redefine future warfare. The point is, China's military spending is a complex beast. It's a multifaceted approach to building a formidable military presence. It's not just about buying more guns and bombs. It's about a comprehensive strategy. It's about investing in every aspect of their military, from the people on the ground to the technology of the future. This holistic approach ensures that they are prepared for any challenge that comes their way. Now let's talk about the fun stuff, the shiny new toys China's been adding to its military arsenal. Because let's be honest, who doesn't love a good gadget, even if it is designed to, blow things up? The People's Liberation Army, or PLA, has been on a shopping spree, and their new acquisitions are nothing short of impressive. First up, the People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLAN, has been making waves, literally. They've been launching new warships at a rate that would make even Noah's Ark look slow. It's almost like they're trying to outdo themselves with each new vessel. We're talking destroyers, frigates, and even aircraft carriers. These aren't just any ships, they're state-of-the-art, bristling with the latest technology. That's right, China now has multiple aircraft carriers, including the Type 003, which is their most advanced yet. This behemoth is a testament to China's growing naval capabilities. It's like they're trying to create their own version of Top Gun, but with Chinese subtitles. The pilots are rigorously trained and the jets are ready for action at a moment's notice. Then there's the People's Liberation Army Air Force, or PLAAF. They've been busy too, upgrading their fleet with advanced fighter jets like the J-20. This isn't just any fighter jet, it's a fifth-generation stealth aircraft designed to evade radar and dominate the skies. This stealthy beast is giving the US Air Force a run for its money, or at least that's what the internet tells me. With its advanced avionics and weaponry, the J-20 is a formidable opponent. And let's not forget about the rocket force. These folks are in charge of China's ballistic missiles, and let's just say, they don't mess around. Their arsenal includes a variety of missiles, each more advanced than the last. They've been developing new missiles with longer ranges and greater accuracy, which is great news if you're into that sort of thing. These advancements mean that China can strike targets further away with pinpoint precision. All this modernization is part of China's goal of becoming a top-tier military power. They want to be able to project force far beyond their borders, and these new toys are a big part of that strategy. It's clear that China is not just playing catch-up, they're aiming to be a dominant force on the global stage. Their investments in technology and training are paying off, and the world is taking notice. Section 4. People Power Training and Retaining China's Military Might. Okay, so we've talked about the hardware, but what about the software? I'm talking about the people who actually operate all this fancy equipment, because a tank is only as good as the soldier driving it, and a fighter jet is useless without a skilled pilot in the cockpit. China knows this, which is why they're investing heavily in training and retaining their military personnel. They're offering competitive salaries, better housing, and improved benefits to attract and keep the best and the brightest. Think of it as a military recruitment drive, but instead of cheesy slogans and promises of adventure, they're offering dental and a 401k. They're also focusing on education, sending officers to top military academies and conducting joint exercises with other countries. Because nothing says we come in peace like practicing your invasion strategy with a bunch of foreign soldiers. This investment in human capital is crucial for China's military ambitions. They can have all the fancy weapons in the world, but without skilled and motivated personnel to operate them, they're just expensive paperweights. Section 5. Projecting Power, China's Global Military Footprint. Now let's talk about China's global military presence. Because it's one thing to have a big military, but it's another thing entirely to actually use it, right? China has been steadily expanding its military footprint around the world, establishing its first overseas military base in Djibouti a few years back. They've also been increasing their participation in UN peacekeeping missions and conducting naval exercises in far-flung corners of the globe. This growing presence has some folks worried. They see it as a sign of China flexing its military muscle and trying to assert its dominance. Others argue that it's just a natural progression for a rising power like China. They say that with great power comes great responsibility, and also, apparently, a desire to build military bases in strategically important locations. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: China's military is no longer content to stay within its own borders. They're becoming a global force to be reckoned with, and that's something the world is going to have to get used to. Section 6. The Hidden Costs of Defense Unraveling the Real Spending. Now here's where things get a little sneaky. You see, official figures only tell part of the story when it comes to military spending. There are always hidden costs, things that don't show up on the balance sheet. For example, China's investment in space technology often has dual-use applications. That satellite they launched to study the stars, it could also be used for military reconnaissance. Those rockets they're developing for space exploration, they could also carry warheads. Sneaky, right? Then there's the whole issue of cyber warfare. You don't need to build tanks and aircraft carriers to wage war in the digital age. All you need is a bunch of really smart hackers and a whole lot of processing power. And let's just say China isn't exactly known for its transparency when it comes to its cyber activities. So, while the official defense budget gives us a good starting point, it's important to remember that the real cost of China's military ambitions is likely much higher. It's like that extra charge they hit you with at the restaurant for condiments. You know it's a rip-off, but what are you gonna do? Section 7. Global Implications, China's Military Rise in the World Stage. So, what does all this mean for the rest of the world? Well, it depends on who you ask and their perspective. Some folks see China's military rise as a threat to global stability. They worry that China's growing assertiveness will lead to conflict, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region. Others argue that China's military development is a natural consequence of its economic growth. They say that China is simply trying to protect its interests and play a more prominent role on the world stage. They point to China's participation in UN peacekeeping missions and its efforts to combat piracy as evidence of its peaceful intentions. The truth, as always, is probably somewhere in between these views. China's military rise is a complex issue with no easy answers. But one thing is for sure, it's something that the world will be watching very closely in the years to come.